So the other day, and by the other day I mean the other month, I was thinking about how cool Annihilate is as a Pokemon. I mean, it's such an incredible design, right? But he's also so angry. I mean, Outrage, Rage Fist, Stomping Tantrum. This guy's so fucking angry that he died about it, right? He's like the complete embodiment of anger. It's probably the most angry Pokemon that there is. Hmm, anger, wrath, that's one of the seven deadly sins, isn't it? So that got me thinking, what would the other seven deadly sins be if they were represented by Pokemon? All right, so let's get into it. So obviously, Annihilate is wrath. The next sin, I think, is going to be gluttony, okay? What? Now, if you're a Gen 1er, you probably think this is such an obvious answer. Gluttony, obviously that's Snorlax. If you say that, you're wrong, and also you don't deserve to be loved because the actual answer is Guzzlord, all right? Guzzlord is way hungrier than Snorlax because he's never satisfied. Snorlax can eat a massive amount of food and then he goes, "Oh, I'm so full," and then he goes to sleep. Guzzlord never stops. He is endlessly hungry. He's like the physical embodiment of a black hole, right? This guy's so hungry, he ate an entire region and he just doesn't stop ever. He's so hungry. He's such a glutton that he doesn't poop. He just retains all of that. He doesn't even let it go. He just keeps it all. That's crazy, right? The next sin, sloth. Now, you might also be thinking Snorlax fits pretty well with sloth. That's part of why I didn't want to pick him for gluttony, right? Because he kind of represents sloth and gluttony. But if I had to pick one Pokemon to only represent the sin of sloth, it's gotta be slacking, right? One, he's literally a sloth, right? And part gorilla, but that's besides the point. But also, he is easily the laziest Pokemon of all time. If you send Snorlax out in battle, he's at least gonna battle. He's gonna do every move you tell it to. Slacking will straight up not move every single other turn. He will just say, "Nah, I don't feel like attacking right now." He's the biggest bum in all of Pokemon. He's definitely a sloth, both in terms of the sin and in terms of the animal. Next, I'm going to cover Envy. And now, Envy is a trickier one. I couldn't actually fully decide on just one Pokemon for this. So I'll tell you the two that I picked out, right? Number one, Mimikyu. Mimikyu is probably the most envious Pokemon, and it was the first one that came to mind for me, because like Mimikyu's whole shtick is that he thinks he's so ugly, and like anyone who sees Mimikyu will like die because of how ugly it is, and it's envious of Pikachu's popularity. It dresses up as Pikachu, right? It's envious of Pikachu's beauty standards, right? Conventional, cute Pokemon, right? On the other side, though, you could argue that Chi-Yu is a better representation for Envy because it was literally born from envy. Its Pokedex says that the envy of people manifested this Pokemon into existence. So you tell me which represents envy better, the Pokemon that is envious of others or the Pokemon that was created by envy itself. Next, pride. Loki was kind of difficult for me to decide as well because there are lots of Pokemon that have pride about their appearance. One that came to mind was Pyroar. Pyroar is a lion, so it lives in a pride, but it's not actually that prideful of its appearance. Another that came to mind was Buzzwole because he kind of flexes his muscles, but the Pokedex specifically states that we do not know if that's to like show off its muscles or if it's just to like scare us, right? We don't know if Buzzwole is prideful or not. We do for sure know that Hawlucha is prideful. Hawlucha is so prideful that he will show off in the middle of the battle. He'll do like a cool flary move. He'll show off he does a performance, right? I think That's the best we're gonna get in terms of a Pokemon that's prideful. Um, yeah. Greed, though, that's a whole other sin. Greedent literally has the word greed in its name, right? But it's greedy about food, which is more gluttony, right? It's not like greedy with money, which is sort of more what distinguishes greed from gluttony. So Greedent's out, right? Hoopa also like stole a giant castle for its treasure, so clearly it cares about money. But I think the most perfect representation for greed is going to be Gimmighoul. This guy is so fucking greedy. He will make you collect 999 coins to evolve it. It's hoarding the wealth. It's the fucking 1%. It's a fucking class traitor. I hate Gimmighoul. Gimmighoul's awful. So yeah, Gimmighoul is the embodiment of greed in the Pokemon universe. You can't convince me otherwise. Now, God, you can probably hear my dog, but I don't feel like recording this again. The final sin of all is lust. What first came to mind for me was Enamorous because it's kind of the closest thing we have to a Pokemon representing sex. But Enamorous itself is not lustful, right? It doesn't really create lust in others. It just makes Pokemon like breed during springtime, right? So I think the best candidate is Salandit. Male Salandit specifically because they lust after the female Salazzle, right? They like follow it. It's sort of in the same vein. You could argue for Volbeat kind of having that similar relationship with Illumise, but Salandit just like felt like the right pick to me, you know? So that's all. That was the seven deadly sins as Pokemon. Bye bye.